add our form in there. You can name it anything you want. I am naming it contact, and you can set any template. I'm setting it to page builder blank because I don't want anything on the page. I just want my contact. Okay, now click on this button which says edit with Elementor. And remember, this form widget is only available in Elementor Pro, so it is not available in the free plugin. You have to purchase the Pro version. If you haven't already done that, then you can go to blogto.com/Elementor and you can purchase it from there. Let me show you. Okay, so as you can see over here, there is a buy now button. When you click on this, you will be redirected to this section where you have 3 different plans: personal, business and unlimited plan. If you want it for a single site, you can purchase the single one, personal one. If you want it to use on 3 different sites, you can use the business one, and $199 for unlimited. This is basically for web developers and freelancers, and I am using this personal one because I'll be using this only on a single domain, a single site. So you can choose your whatever plan you want, and then we can proceed further. If you don't know how to purchase it, how to install it, there is a link in the video description below. You can watch that video. All your doubts will be cleared. Okay, so let's come back over here. Now here are all the Pro elements, as you can see at the left hand side. Now we have to search for the form element. Here it is, the forms. Drag it over here. So when you drag it over here, by default you should see something like this. First we'll see the basic things about over here. So let's come back and let's see. The first section is the form fields, and the first option is form name. So you can name it anything. By default it is named to new form. You can change the name if you want. And here, as you can see, we have 3 different options. The first one is name, email and message. Let's see one by one. Let's open name. Here you have type, label, placeholder, required, column width. Okay, so first one is type. What kind of text or what kind of box you want, what you want your user to fill in. So for name, we are selecting text because name is basically text. He will be entering some text. If it was his mobile number or something, then we would select number. If it was email address, then we would select email. Okay, so first one is name, so that's why it is text. Label, as you can see at the top of this box, this name is written. You can change this label to anything. For example, instead of name, let's type your name. And here is the placeholder, which you see in the box, the light text which says name. So instead of placeholder, we can type in anything. For example, let's type enter your name. So as you can see over here, now enter your name is written over there. Okay, so basically this is what type, label and placeholder is. Now if you want to make it required, you can make it yes, or if you don't want to make it required, you can make it no. It's all up to you. Then we have column width. So as you can see over here, it is spread to 100% width. Now if you want this, you can change this from here. Let's make it 50%. So as you can see, now it is 50%. Okay, now we will make this also 50% and we'll bring both of them on the same line. Okay, so let's see the second one, the email one. So here, instead of text, email is selected, as I said you earlier, because because you know what happens, why is this important? See, when email is selected, then anyone who doesn't enter a email format, for example mail@gmail.com, if he enters anything, like if he does any mistake, he'll be prompted and said you're doing some mistake. And if he enters only some text or only some number, he'll be prompted that you are doing some mistake over here, because it will automatically realize that this is not the perfect format. Okay, so that is why it is important. Here also you can change the label, placeholder, if it is required or not. Now let's make this also 50%. As you can see, when we do this, both the things comes into one single row or one single line. Okay, this is the message one. So let's open up this message one. Okay, at present it is selected to 4 rows. When you increase the rows, you increase the width or you increase the height of this particular column, of this particular box, so that you give a bigger box. For example, at present by default it is selected to 4. If I enter 8, as you can see, the size of the box increases, which is very good. You can also increase the width or height of this particular thing if you want. So we'll make it to 100%. So these were 3 basic things. You can also add an item. For example, let's click on add item. We get this box. Okay, so let's open this and let's see the options. Now instead of type, let's enter something like select. So we'll get few options from which we have to select. Okay, so we can give it any name. For example, let's give it a label source. Okay, now we don't want to make it required. Okay, let's make it required. Now enter something, for example Google, second option Facebook, third option maybe G+, Google+, whatever you like. I'm just giving you an example. Okay, so instead of label, let's type in something else. Let's type how did you hear about us. Okay, so this is very important so that you can understand how did the person, the visitor on your website or anywhere else hear about you, how did he get to know about you. Okay, so here if you want to add more options, you can add them on different lines. So at present we have selected 3 options, as you can see. Now he can select anything and you can click on this send button. Okay, so this is how you add a new item. If you want to duplicate this, you can click on over here, this thing will be duplicated. If you want to delete this, you can click on this X button, it will be deleted. Now here is the input size. Okay, so these are the input size. If you are increased, by default it is set to small. If I'll set it to medium, you can see the changes. As you can see, medium. If I set it to large, the box size increases. Okay, so let's make it medium. Okay, if you want to show the label or not, at the top all these labels are there, your name, email address and so on. If you don't want to show them, you can just make it no, and this will look something like this. So it's all up to you. Okay, so required mark, if it is required, we want the required mark, and that is very important so that the user knows that he has to fill this particular field, only then his form will be accepted. Okay, so these were all the form fields. Okay, now let's see about the submit button. So let's expand this submit button, and the text is, as you can see on this button, it says send. So you can change this also. Let's change it to click here. You can increase the size, let's make it medium again. You can also increase or decrease the column width. As you can see, now it is 50%, 80%, whatever you like. Let's make it 100%, and you can also change the alignment. At present it is to justified. You can make it center align, right align, left align, it's all up to you. Okay, so let's make it justified, looks much better. You can add an icon. Let's make it left, let's make it left. Okay, you can add any icon over here. For example, you can search for an icon. Let's search for envelope. Okay, so as you can see, now before this button there is an envelope icon. If you want to add this icon after this text, then you can select after from here. And if you want to increase the spacing between this icon and this text, you can do so. Let's see. As you can see, the space between this icon and the text increases. So this was the submit button. So we have seen form fields, we have seen submit button. Now is the action after submit. So what happens when a user or when someone clicks on this particular button? So let's select that. So we have selected an action email. So when someone clicks fills in this form and clicks on this button, you'll get an email at your email address. Okay, now let's see the different email options. Okay, so you will get a mail on this particular email address. By default it will get your admin email address. If you wanna add more email address, then you can just put a comma and enter new one. Okay, so let's enter mail@gmail.com or anything you want. This is the subject which you will receive the email, and in email content all the fields. So you'll get all whatever field he has filled in, you'll get all the information on your email address. Okay, you can change the from email address, from name, reply to, and so on. This is the metadata. This is also very important. Okay, so below the email address, below the mail which you get, you'll see few information like when did that person visit this particular form, what was the date, what was the time, what page URL. For example, if you have added a contact form or any kind of form on different pages, then you will be very it will be very useful if you know which page is working well, which page is getting more attraction to this form. So that is also very important. User agent, IP address, credit, and so on. Send as HTML or text. HTML is selected, and I also recommend HTML. Now the last option is additional options. So you can customize the custom options, the default messages over here. For example, when the message is successfully sent, the user will get this message: the form was sent successfully. For error message, this is the one. So you can just change anything you want. For example, instead of success message, the form was sent successfully, you can just thank the user for submitting the form. So it's all up to you. After doing all these changes, click on the save button so that you don't miss any changes. So these were all the basic things, the basic structure of the form, how a form looks like. Now second is the styling one. Okay, so let's see what is styling, but we will need to do some changes over here. In fact, I just created this just to show you what a form is. I'll delete everything and start a new one to create something like this. Okay, so again I'll drag the form over here. Okay, now my main objective is to create it like this. Okay, so first I want all the form fields on on single lines and the send button at the bottom, and I want to divide this into two different columns. So let's first do that. Okay, how over here at the corner you'll see this gray button, and at there you'll see a plus button which would say add column. Click on that, a new column will be added. Now I want this column over here, so I'll drag this over here. Okay, fine. So let's start working over here. Okay, what all options we have? We have name, email, mobile number, Facebook URL. I just added that. You can add anything over there. Okay, so let's add any four. We don't want message over here, okay, because we want small form fields. Okay, so we have four different form fields over here, and we don't want this form field, this label over here. So I'll just select or deselect this label. I'll increase the size to medium, or maybe let it be small. Fine. So we have four different form fields. We have disabled the label, we have set the size to small. Fine. Now let's see the second option, the submit button. This is also fine. Everything looks fine. After this, we don't have to do much change over here. Go to style directly. Okay, now first option is column gap. So when you increase or decrease, nothing happens because there is only one single column. The second one is row gap. When you do increase or decrease over here, you see, because there are different rows over here. Okay, so you can set the row gap according to you. Now go to field. Now here you can do all the changes for these four options, which are the field options. The first one is text color. So as you can see over here, it is dark gray. Inside that is the text color. So let's select the text color and select dark gray. As you can see, the changes have taken place over here. Now you can change the typography. For example, you can just change the size of the text to whatever you want. Okay, let's delete this. Fine. You can change the font family to Roboto or whatever you like, your favorite font. You can increase or decrease the weight, transform style, and so on. Okay, so we don't have to do much of the typography setting over here. The main options are these. The background color. Now select the background color, and as you can see over here, the background color is light pink. So you can select the color from here, as you can see, but I have a color code for myself. This is very dark, so what I'll do, I'll decrease the opacity from here, and as you can see, it has become very light, and this looks much better. Okay, we can change this later, so there's no problem with that. So let's click on over here. We don't want any border. Okay, so I'll make this 0 border width. Just put in 0 over there. Now border radius. Here if you see, the corners are circle, so we want a rounded something like this. Okay, so let's add a border radius. Let's add 50, and as you can see, this looks awesome. Fine. Now let's see the button settings. Here also we'll see the text color is white, the button color is dark pink, so text color is white. That's fine. Button color, background color, this is also looking awesome. Border radius, let's make this also 50 pixels. Okay, so this looks awesome. Click on save. Now as you can see over here, there is some padding from all the sides, from top, left, right. There is a gap from all the sides. Okay, and this form is in the middle, so let's do that. And also the background color is white, so click on this. Now go to advanced, and this is the padding, so you can enter anything, for example 20 pixels. Now as you can see, we have 20 pixels padding from all the sides. You can increase this also. Let's enter 50 pixels. This looks much better. Okay, so this is 50 pixels. Now let's change the background color. So go to styles, here it is, the first option, background. Click the first one, classic. Select the color from here, select white. Now we have a white background color and we have something like this. Okay, so this is really going awesome. Click on save. Now let's do this section, this background color section, and then this text and icon and so on. Okay, so we have to select this column now, and first there is an icon. This is an icon. Okay, so we want an icon, so drag this icon over here. Okay, we have this over here at the top. Now from here we have to select quote. Just type in quote, Quote. So we have two different quote left, quote right, whatever you like, you can select. Let's select quote right, and here as you can see the color is white. All the colors over here are white. So this is center align, that's fine. Go to style, primary color, select white. This looks awesome. You can change the size. Okay, you can increase or decrease the size. You can rotate it if you want. You can add a hover effect. For example, if this is white but when someone hovers over this it becomes black. Okay, as you can see over here, so you can also do that. I don't want to do that, so just clear this off. Fine. You can also add an animation when someone hovers over this. You can add grow, so when someone hovers over this, as you can see, it grows. So you can also add some animations if you want. So these are the settings, basic settings. Okay, so let's first also add a background color, the pink background color to this, so that we can see the changes more easily. So click on this edit column, go to advanced, in fact go to style, select the color, background color, and select any color you want. Here also we need to add some padding, so let's add 20 pixels. 20 pixels will be fine. And now if you see over here, this column is slightly bigger than this one, so let's do that also. Take your cursor over here and drag this thing over here. Fine, so this looks much better. Click on save. Whenever you do any small change, big change, make sure you save the settings so that you don't miss anything which you have already done, so you don't have to do it again and again. Now let's see the second one. The second one is just some simple text, so let's copy this text from here. Okay, come back over here, click on this icon so that you will be redirected to this one. Now select title, this heading over here, and paste it over here. Now paste everything over here. Fine, make it center align, go to style to change. Now text color will be white. Fine. Typography, you can increase or decrease the size of this text. You can also change the font family. You can, for example, this is Atma at present. The one which I have used in the demo is Atma, as you can see. Now we will also add some line height, okay, so that it looks much better. So this is really looking awesome. Click on save. Fine. Now at the bottom there is some gap, and again there is some text. My name is written over there. Fine. So again come back over here,